Hello and welcome to this, the War on the Ground World War II Wargames rules tutorial. For 10mm to 144th scale games on table up to battalion level, the figure scale is 1:1. This tutorial will demonstrate armoured combat, the scenario being the classic position the Germans found themselves in after D-Day, on the defensive, and outnumbered. Today, can one Stug 3 stop an American Sherman platoon? Let's see. Hidden amongst the cover is a lone Stug 3G. It has the job of slowing down the American advance in this area. Once it's caused a delay on the American advance, it has permission to withdraw. We start with the initial move phase. On this occasion, there are no aircraft, no plots for artillery to indirect fire, or artillery fire to resolve. The turn moves on to the sequential phase. It's phase 1. The first player, the US player, moves. A platoon of 5 American Shermans advance from the town. The Shermans have orders to advance from the town and take up positions on the crest beside the road. They've taken the order literally, and rather than advance carefully, they've used their whole road movement. This could be a mistake. The range from the Stug is measured. It's just under 500 metres, 50 centimetres. Using the spotting chart, a spotting attempt is now made. The range is just under 500 metres from the Stug to the Sherman. A D10 will be used for this test, obviously, if it's necessary. The front profile of the Sherman is a B. At up to 500 metres in cover, the basic dice roll is 4 on a D10. Looking at the modifiers, it's -1 as the Stug is on higher ground. The target moved over 250 metres as well, so that's a -2. The adjusted number to spot is a 1. That means it's automatic. It's time to look at the direct fire chart now. The Stug gun is a 75mm L48, and at 500 metres it requires a basic 8 or better on a D20 to hit. But there are modifiers to take into account. The rate of fire, ROF, of the Stug gives a -1. The target moved more than 250 metres, which gives a +2. These are the data sheets for the Stug and the Sherman. The Sherman, as you can see here, has an armour value on the front of 7. The Stug gun penetration factor at up to 500 metres is 12. This means there's a difference of 5. Okay, let's look at the armour penetration chart. To discover the outcome, on a 5, a D20 is rolled. The result is a 17. The Sherman is destroyed. Okay, let's return to the spotting chart. The remaining Shermans are beyond 500 metres, so the basic number in cover for the Stug, which has a front profile of C, is 7. The modifiers are of -3 for the gun firing, the movement of the Shermans being over 50% of their movement allowance, bringing another +3. The adjusted number is still 7. The first of the remaining Shermans rolls a 1, no spot. The second rolls 4, no spot. The third, a 7. Which means the Stug has been spotted. This means the 4th Sherman, being informed of the location of the Stug by its colleague, has a -2 to its roll, but throws a 3, so fails to spot anyway. The fact that the Shermans have moved more than half of their move allowance means that even though one has spotted the Stug, it may not fire this turn. Okay, we look at the sequence of play, and we see phases 4 and 5. Phase 4, is the Stug going to move? No, it's not. Phase 5, well, the Americans may not be able to fire, but they can still spot. There are 3 tanks still needing to spot. They roll again, a 7, a 6, and a 9. All 3 have now spotted the Stug, but won't be able to fire until next turn. The Stug, in phase 6, attempts to spot the second Sherman. The range is over 500 metres, so it's a bit harder, but a 6 means that it's still spotted. The Stug now fires and the result can be seen here. Oh dear. It's now the end of move phase. In this phase, the only thing that we've got to check today is unit effectiveness for the Sherman platoon. We now look at the unit effectiveness test. The base effectiveness for a platoon of Shermans at this period of the war is a 4. It's sort of standard basic training, nothing particularly exciting. It's a default value, in other words, which means that there are some units that are going to be better, some units that are going to be worse. But today, it's a 4. The unit has lost more than 25% of its strength, which means it's a +1. Fortunately, its HQ is still intact, so that's not going to have an adverse effect. A D10 is now rolled to see what the modified result is. A 2 is thrown. This is an extra +2 on the unit effectiveness. So the overall value is 7. If we look at the chart, the unit is unnerved and may move to cover or halt next turn. Well, at the end of the turn, it very much looks like the Stug is going to be a problem for the Americans. Perhaps their advance should be more cautious next time. A lesson possibly to us all.